Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is the World Deadlift Championships this weekend and I cannot wait. So the World Deadlift Championships is on this weekend, and this is probably one of my favourite competitions out of all of them because, I mean, who doesn't love a good old deadlift off? So I'm just going to, now bear in mind, it's normally on a Saturday evening at 5 p.m. This weekend it's going to be Sunday morning at 1 a.m. So basically Saturday night. So those of you that are paying for it and want to watch it live, just bear in mind it's not going to be on the normal time, as it's on in Las Vegas. So I'm just going to go down through some of the names we have competing this weekend. We have Tom Stoutman, we have Novikov, we have Evan, we've got Hooper, Bibby, Luke Stoutman, Eddie Williams, Austin Andrade, Trey Mitchell, Matt Ragg, and we have three guest lifters with Ivan Makarov, Rona Heinle, and Graham Hicks. And then we have, of course, Lucy Underdown, who's going for the women's deadlift record. So this weekend, now the jumps are, so we're going to, I think the jumps are the same as, are they the same as last year? They are, I think. So it's going to be 400 kilos, it's going to be 425, it's going to be 1,000 pounds, which is 454. Then we got 470, and then we have 505. Now, in my opinion, we shouldn't be doing 470. It's a copy of last year, in my opinion. They should have gone to 480. And I think we have a couple of guys that actually could pull the 480. Like, I honestly believe Ivan Makarov would have pulled it. Rona would pull it. Graham Hicks would pull the 480. I think Hooper, you never know where Hooper the cunt is because that man seems to do whatever he wants. Bibby, which we'll come to in a second. Who else we got in that list? Austin Andrade is a massive deadlifter, and that man, the last time he was at the World Deadlift Championships, he pulled 430, and that was raw as well. So he's suited up this year, so we're going to see what he's actually capable of. And we have Matt Ragg, of course. Matt Ragg is one of those guys that could easily pull a 480, so I'd love to have seen it 480 and then 505, and that way we get a new record. We get a lot of PBs for the guys because some of the guys might pull 470 and might miss out on the 505. And in my opinion, right, and I'm never wrong, if you're going for the 505, which obviously we have three guys who are really going to go for it with the possibility of 2 or 3 more guys in the group, if you're going to go for the 505, you need to skip the 1,000 pounds and you need to do the 470. There's nothing worse than, like, if you're going from if you're going from the 1,000 pounds, which is 54 kilos up to 505 kilos, that's a 50 kilo jump. That is like jumping, that's two reds, a red on either side, jumping straight to your max, which is massive. I think there needs to be some middle ground between the 454 and a 505. A clever man will skip the 1,000, go 470, then 505. Now, speaking to Graham Hicks, I know that that's his plan, but Graham is a clever man because he has clever friends like me. I think he's right to, now obviously that's his own opinion, that's his way of doing it. He's going for the 470 as far as I know, unless he changes his mind while he's in America. I can't see that happening though. So in his mind, it'll be 400, 425, 475 or 5, and I think that is the way to do it. So just going to talk about the three guys. What do I think? So Ivan Makarov, I think the first thing Ivan Makarov needs to do, if he has a coach, he needs to get rid of that coach. He needs to get rid of him. He needs to employ or get a coach that will help him train for the 505. It seems he hasn't changed anything in the last 4 years or however long he's been prepping for this. He hasn't changed anything in training. And the definition of madness is what's the saying again? I can't remember. Is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And that's what he has been doing the last couple of years. He needs to employ a proper coach, like my coach, Luke Richardson, someone like that would coach him into lifting the 505. In my opinion, he trains too heavy in his training, and I'm not sure his age. I think he's like mid-30s, late 30s, is he? But training for something like this, you need to stay away from the heavy weights. And it's seemingly he's hitting 480, 490, 500 off of blocks, which is madness in my opinion. It's just bearing too much on his body, and he comes into this competition literally burnt out. He's over-peaked. So I think if he kept his training in around the 450, like his max being 450, 460, like we saw with Eddie Hall and Graham Hicks and that, If he kept his heavy one, if you're going to do one, you need to do one heavy set in your prep for this. And we saw it with Thor as well. He did one heavy set. That's not counting his 440. But when he went to 470, that was his one heavy set. Graham Hicks did one heavy set, which was 465. Eddie Hall did one heavy set. I think he did 450. And it's just Ivan Makarov seems to go heavy, like 480-ish every 2 or 3 weeks. And he does this a couple of times in his prep. I honestly believe if you got a proper coach, he would pull the 505 because he has it in him. He's made to deadlift. I don't know if anyone has ever met Ivan. He's just a monster. He's got so many body parts to him. It's like he's extra muscle than the rest of us. Rona Heinle, I think, obviously Rona is at the wrong side of the age barrier. Is he going to pull the 505? No, I don't think so. He's not even going to get a chance to do a personal best, which would be anything over 476. Which is a pity. You know, like that, if we had it at 480, we'd get to see him possibly breaking a PB and bring the Masters world record up to 480, as he has it at 476. And then we have Graham Hicks. Graham Hicks has done 470 last year in training. Graham Hicks, I know I spent a bit of time with Graham last year in a prep for this, and Graham Hicks pulled at 470 with a torn hamstring. He was 50-50 on whether, I think he actually pulled out a couple of times before the competition, and even then he was 50-50 about even doing that, and he still managed a 470 kilo deadlift. I think if Graham comes out into this with his head switched on, with nothing in his head, only to deadlift at 505, and I'm going to be speaking to him beforehand, just have nothing in his head, do that 505. The man has the tools to do it. There's no one more equipped to do the 505 than him. So I honestly, do I think Graham can do it? Absolutely. If his head is switched on, he will pull the 505. He pulled it up to his knees last year with a torn hamstring. So I think he's fully fresh. The travel didn't bother him a whole pile. The travel wasn't even that bad. I think it was an 8 or 9 hour flight, which isn't bad. I know he was delayed a couple of hours, but the flight, the amount of time he spent in the air wasn't that bad. Compared to Worlds, like when I travelled to Worlds this year, the travel killed me. I had 4 different flights before I got to my destination of World's Strongest Man this year. I would just love if Lindsay from Giants Live, who organises the flights for Giants Live, I would love if Lindsay would get a job at World's Strongest Man and organise the flights because they need her. So out of the rest of the guys, who do I think is going to do well? There's going to be a couple of guys, I think they'll pull 400 and they'll be happy enough with that. Luke Stoltman obviously has come back from injury. Eddie Williams, obviously, he's not the best deadlifter in the world, and you know he knows himself. But I think he'd be happy with 400 kilos. The rest of the guys, Tom Stoltman, his best is 430. I think he can pull a 454 with his suit on. When we see him equipped up, I will be shocked. He's going to pull a 400 and 425 easily. I'm not sure how his training has gone for this. But if he's ready for this, he will pull the 1,000 pounds. I've no doubt in my mind he will pull it. Novikov seems to be a little bit off, but like at the end of the day, he's still a 1,000 pounds puller. Evan, 1,000 pound puller, I can see him doing it again easily. Hooper now is someone that will do the 1,000 pounds. I've no doubt in my mind he will do it. And he will probably do the 470 just for kicks and giggles. Now, Bibby is someone we have nothing to bear off of really, other than the fact that he's an absolute beast. Now, I spoke to Bibby last year when he broke the log record, which is 230 kilos. That time he broke it. And I said, what's next for him? And he says, I want to break the deadlift record. Bibby wants to break the deadlift record. So we've nothing to bear it off of because we've only seen bits and pieces of training. I think the only bit of deadlift training I've seen from him was his 330 kilogram axle deadlift, which he was trained with Luke Richardson, and he made it look so easy. That was raw as well. As far as I know, he's wearing a suit for this. So I think he's going to surprise everyone. He's going to do the 1,000 pounds, and there's a possibility he will do the 470. The man has the guts to do it. I hope he does it. He's such a nice guy. I'm really rooting for Bibby to do this because he could be our final shot if anyone else doesn't get it, for having the crack at the 505 next year, if not this year. Like I say, we don't know where the fucker is. So then we have Austin Andrade is another fella here. As I said before, he pulled 430 raw last year. He's easily going to do the 454. He's after recently buying a deadlift suit. He's another fella we could see doing the 470. After that, we've Trey Mitchell. Trey's best is like 420, 430 in between there. I think he'd be happy with 425. If I was in Trey's shoes, I would be happy with 425. It's always good points to pull the 425. And then of course, we have Matt Ragg. Now, Matt Ragg has had a few issues leading up to this. But we saw what he could do at the Strongest Man on Earth, where he pulled, what was it? He failed the £1,000. But that was Raw as well. And he was injured and he was sick and he had a lot of shit going against him. So I think if Matt Ragg is healthy, and to the best of my knowledge he is, Matt Ragg is a fella who's going to have a crack at 505. His best at 460. We saw him do 460 with a suit before. He didn't even peak for that shit, and he ripped it off the ground. I think if he was fresh and healthy and came into this, if he came into this nice and healthy, I think he's a man who could have the 505. Now, in saying that healthy, most of these guys, unfortunately, in my opinion, are all fairly burnt out at this stage. They've been competing all year. They've been doing show after show after show, and at the end of the day, they're all only human, except for Hooper. We don't know what he is. So in my opinion, a lot of these guys are burnt out. So hopefully we'll get the best out of them, and most of all, let's just hope nobody gets injured. We do not want no more injuries this year. We saw a horrible injury with Nathan. We just don't want that anymore. And then of course we have Lucy Underdown, who is going for the women's record. She has the record at 318 kilograms, which is 700 pounds. She did that Raw. She is now suited as well, and I think, in my opinion, she will pull 340. Not a bother. I think she would probably have a crack at 350, but I think we're going to see her blow the record by at least 20-30 kilograms. So all the best to Lucy, all the best to the rest of the lads. Of course, I'm rooting for my friend Graham Hicks. And Bibi, I think, will be the underdog of this competition. So that is my opinion, guys. Now make sure you watch this weekend. It is Sunday 1 a.m. if you are tuning in, and we will see you for the debrief, and I will see you then. Thank you all for watching.